Hello, I'm Rick Stivers. I'd like to welcome you to YoungMartin'sReels. And today we're going to be working on this South Bend Spincast 77 reel. And we're going to take it apart, see how it works, and service it, put it back together. First off, we're going to take off the front cover. All right. Much as the you're going to find that this is a lot like the Shakespeare reels, in that this part right here is part of the drag system. When this front cover screws on, if you look inside here, see these three tags right here? Those three tags are your drag washers, or the equivalent thereof. And they slide down over here. Let's get the line out of the way. They slide on here and they tighten down. And once it gets down far enough, you can hear that start to ratchet. That's your clicker for setting your drag, and you adjust your drag by tightening it down more and more, and that'll adjust that. All right, so that's what this front cover and this lever right here is. That's your clicker for your drag set. All right, so let's go ahead and take that off now. All right, now we're going to take the rotor off, or spinner head as it's known in the Shakespeare world, or the Zebco world. Okay, that's off. And wow, that was easy enough. Wow, so there's no C-clip, nothing holding that on, only the spinner head. Wow, it's a pretty complex looking spinner head there, folks. That doesn't look like one we're going to be able to take apart and clean, so we're going to have to clean it on the outside and scrub it up and get it lubricated just like it is. Okay, rotor comes off. It's got the clicker on the bottom here for when your drag is spinning out. Not very loud, is it? Okay. Now we're going to take the handle off. Not overly sure that phenolic, well, they're both phenolic washers. Not overly sure that those are original to this, but they'll be fine. All right, now we're going to take side cover off. Let's see if the other side cover comes off first. Let's go ahead and take that off, this side off first. Because there may be a spring, much like there is on the Shakespeare reels. There may be, see this right here, the post? There may be a spring around this post, and I want to see how it fits so that we know how to put it back if, in that case, if that's what we've got. I might change screwdrivers. I broke that screwdriver tip the other day, and I ground it down again yesterday, and I don't have it down thin enough to really fit these screws properly yet. So I'm going to have to do a little more work there. Let's take this out. What do we see? All right, there's no spring, nothing there. Okay, with that out, that shoulder out, or bolt out, we can now remove the button. And that seems to be sprung just a little bit. We're going to pull it out just a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead. Got a feeling we're going to have to take out a C-clip here to get this out. But let's go ahead and take this side apart. Anti-reverse is engaged. Let's disengage it. There we go. Now we can pull the main gear off. Got a lot of clotted up old grease there, but that's all. Okay, take that out. And we could take this screw out if we wanted to, but I don't really see a need for that. It's free. We just need to scrub it up. All right, that brings us down to the axle assembly, and I'm hoping it will come out in one piece, and it will not. Okay, so the only way this is coming out is if we extend this down like so, pull this little clip down. Gotta get it to fit over the, I'm sure there's a center shaft there that's got to go down over like so. Okay, let me lift it up so you can see it properly. Okay, I've taken that little H channel and pulled it down. And now I'm going to take a pair of needle nose pliers and grab hold of this clip like so and pull it out. With that clip out, now put your other finger over the top of that so that it can come up and hit on it so it doesn't go shooting. And at that point, you should now be able to pull the axle shaft out like so. Okay, so that goes together just like that with this hat channel. I call it a hat channel because it looks kind of like a little miniature cowboy hat. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, that goes in there and this clip slides in its place. All right, so let me go scrubbing all these pieces up. I'll get them cleaned up and I'll be right back to you. All right, the time has come to reassemble this reel. It's all nice and clean. All the parts are clean. Let me make sure I cleaned one part. Don't remember doing so. And I didn't. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to start by reinstalling this axle shaft. And it's going to slide in from the front side to about there. I'll tell you what let's do. Let's go ahead. Let's do this. Let's take this and slide it onto the rotor. Screw it on. And slide it into the front. Just so that there's something to hold all this together with. All right. Next thing it needs to go on is going to be this washer. Now, when I took this off, this washer was stuck to this pinion gear. So there we go. And that pinion gear is going to have to be able to slide on that shaft. So what we're going to do is we're going to put just a little bit of grease on that. Let's rotate it around a little bit to make sure it goes all the way around. And slide the pinion gear back up there. All right. Next thing we're going to slide on is this spring, like so. Now we're going to slide this all the way back up as far as it'll go and stand it up. Okay. We're going to pull the spring down. We're going to slip on the hat channel. Which is easier said than done with my big fingers. Okay, get it to slide down like so. Get a new grip on it. And now, the only thing left is to put the clip back on. Okay, then get the clip to fit down into the hat channel like that. Okay, now your axle shaft is reinstalled. Go ahead and take this rotor back off. All right, the next thing we're going to do is reinstall the main gear back into the side case. We're going to put some oil on it because it's a rotating surface, and I like to use oil on rotating surfaces. Okay, we're going to put this in the disengage for the moment. That's good. Make sure it spins easy. All right, now I'm going to come back and we're going to put just a little bit of grease on this anti-reverse. Just enough to keep us from having metal-to-metal contact on that pawl. All right, slide it back in. Now, engage it, and we should have anti-reverse. It should only turn this one. That's done. Now, we're going to do, now we're going to grease the gear. Once that's done, slip it back into the side where it will fit into the pinion. It is. Okay. Let's go ahead, put our side plate screws back in. Okay, and if you look now, you'll see that even the pinion has plenty of grease on it now. All right. Now we're going to come back and add some grease to the shaft right here, because this is going to slide up and down as we push in. Now we're going to come back. I'm going to stretch this out just a hair, like that. Okay, it gives it just a little bit of oomph on the end. We've got grease on the end of it here, on the end of the axle shaft. Now we're going to slide the button in, push it up, and it sits right there. Now, this other side case piece should go in, and it should fit through the button, and that should hold the button in, like so. Okay, put the screws back in. All right, with that done, let's go ahead and put this handle on. Let's see. It's had these two phenolic washers under it. I'm still not positive that they go there, but they're on there, so we're going to leave them there. And I'm not even positive 100% that this is the right handle for this. It doesn't really appear that it is to me. Okay, tighten that down. Oh, well, look at there. One of those washers needs to come off, because when I tighten it down all the way, it tightens it down too much. So there's too many washers on there for one. It may need no washers. And that's exactly what I'm thinking, is that it needs no washers. I don't have the schematic for this, so I can't tell you whether there's one there or not. All right, let's try it again with no washers and see what we get. There we go. No washers installed, nice tight handle. Spins easily, no binding. All right. All right, we're going to slide on the spool next. And if you want, you can put a couple drops of oil right here for your drag. Now, cleaning that up has helped a lot. Okay. Now, let's come back and put the spinner head on. Well, before I do that, the spinner head's working beautifully. I cleaned all the old grease out of it. I don't believe it was really supposed to have grease in it. I think it's supposed to have oil. Okay, now let's put it together. Okay, push the button. The pin goes in. Wind the handle. Pin comes out. Do it again. All right, that all works beautifully. Now, since these are our drag washers, I believe that they should have oil, just like any felt drag washer should. So we're going to oil them. go. Feed your line up through the hole. And tell you what, friends, I'm pretty sure that there should be a metal ring inside this, right here on the front, a trim ring to help keep the line from getting cut. Matter of fact, I'd be darn near willing to bet money that that's the way that's supposed to be. I believe we're missing a chrome trim ring here. What you can do in this instance, if you've got it like this, is what you can do is you can go through and put a bead of epoxy around that rim and let it cure up good, and that should take care of the same thing. It'll work about the same. Remember I told you I wasn't sure that this was the right handle? Well, I'm thinking more and more that it's not the right handle, because if you look right here, the handle's going to want to hit right here. There it goes. See how the handle's hitting? I do not believe that this is the handle for this reel. So we're going to backtrack for a minute and go see if I've got a better handle for this reel, and see what we can do. I didn't believe from the beginning that this was the right handle. So it fits it, but it doesn't quite fit it right there. And yeah, I could shave this down a little bit and paint it black, but I think I've probably got a handle pretty close to what we need right here. So we're gonna take a break. All right, as I suspected, I did have a handle that seemed to fit this better than what we have here, and that's this handle. And it doesn't need to be trimmed off like this one does. So we'll move this one over. And is this the appropriate handle to this reel? I'm certain that it is not. This reel most likely would have had one of the round white or maybe green handles and a little round one to go on there. This is probably a reel more out of the 80s. Does it fit? Yes. Will it work? Yes. Is it going to work better than another one? Yes. My goal here at Young Martin's Reels isn't necessarily to show you how to restore a reel. It's how to make it serviceable so that you can take it out and go fishing with it. So, and that's what we've accomplished here. Let's go ahead now that that's fixed and see if we can't get some line out of this thing and see if we can test the drag. One thing I failed to notice when we were cleaning and everything is on the bottom side of the spool, there is this felt drag washer also. Fits right there. Okay, and it was glued to it so it didn't come off. Make sure that that's in. And as the other drag washers, make sure to oil it. And this line on this thing is an absolute mess. I'm trying to get enough of it pulled loose to get it to where I only have it coming off of the spool in one location. There we go. I always wait until after my videos to pull all the line off of the spools. The reason being is because when I get to the end of the video, I want to be able to test the drag on the reel. Okay, right now there's effectively no drag. Any pull at all will pull the line from the spool. And that drag works. Okay, so we have a functional drag. It works. Your spool release works. It winds in beautifully. We've got our clicker. We have our anti-reverse disable, or anti-reverse override. We have our regular anti-reverse. There we go. And there you have the South Bend Spincast 77 reel. And again, like I said, I didn't think these two were original to the reel when I took them off, and turns out they're not. All right. So if you like what you saw here today, please hit the like button. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future and you're not currently subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. The more the merrier. I'd be happy to get more people in here at any time. So for now, that's Rick Stivers with YoungMartin'sReels signing out.